This stone sculpture of a male figure stands in a relaxed pose with his right arm raised and left arm lowered. His garment covers one shoulder, drapes across his chest, and falls in a cascade of repeating folds across his lower body. He is adorned with jewelry and holds an elegant water flask in his lowered left hand. A large circular disc, or halo, serves as a backdrop behind the figure's head. This sculpture, which has its origins in ancient Gandhara, dates to the 3rd to 4th century CE and represents a Buddhist bodhisattva. What is a bodhisattva? In Buddhism, which is one of the world's oldest religions, the term bodhisattva means awakened living being. Bodhi means awakened, and sattva means living being. In Buddhism, a bodhisattva is a living being who has attained enlightenment, which is a state of profound understanding of the true reality of things. Although a bodhisattva has attained enlightenment, they choose not to enter nirvana. Nirvana is a state of enlightenment that liberates or frees one from the cycle of birth and rebirth. While some world religions think of life as a one-way trip, you live and then you die, in Buddhism, this gets repeated. You live, die, then get born and live again, in a cycle known as reincarnation. Buddhists believe the cycle of birth and rebirth is a cycle of suffering. The ultimate goal is to be released from this cycle by attaining enlightenment and entering nirvana. A bodhisattva chooses to postpone nirvana and stay in the cycle of birth and rebirth to help other living beings achieve enlightenment and release from suffering. In Buddhism, there are many bodhisattvas. This one represents the Bodhisattva Maitreya, who is also known as the Buddha of the future. How can we tell? The water flask the figure holds in his left hand is one of Maitreya's attributes. Buddhists believe Maitreya currently resides in a heavenly realm called the Tushita heaven, one of 6 heavenly realms in Buddhism. In the distant future, the teachings of the historical Buddha, the founder of the Buddhist religion, are expected to be forgotten. At this time, Buddhists believe Maitreya will be reborn on earth in his last lifetime to reteach the Buddha's sermons and offer a new hope for enlightenment. So how do we identify bodhisattvas in art? Images of bodhisattvas share iconography with images of the Buddha, including the urna, or tuft of hair between the eyes, represented by a dot, and the ushnisha, or cranial protuberance, represented as a top knot. The urna and the ushnisha are marks of the Buddha's superhuman perfection. How can we tell the difference between a bodhisattva and a Buddha when they share these attributes? Bodhisattvas can be distinguished from images of the Buddha because they are represented as Maitreya is in this sculpture, bare-chested, wearing beautiful clothing and ornate jewelry. On the other hand, the Buddha, who has entered nirvana and given up all material attachments, is always shown wearing a simple robe.